And we are talking about reinventing yourself after the COVID-19 lockdown. I know COVID-19 has just shifted everybody's thoughts and progresses, things that we wanted to do. We can't do them anymore. We are limited to only doing a few things, certain things. And, we've basically had to shift everything in our lives just to accommodate the pandemic. So, Assalamu alaikum, Nazia. Shukran for joining me once again.
Wa alaikum assalam, and assalamu alaikum to the listeners of Salam Media, and Jazakallah for having me again.
Afwan, it's a pleasure. So first of all, what does reinventing yourself mean?
Under the current circumstances, Miriam, we're forced to reinvent ourselves. Even outside of this, constantly life's demand forces you to reinvent yourself to meet the demands of the situation. If you look at different phases of our lives, we are constantly reinventing ourselves in the workspace or in our marriages or in our personal lives. So really, whatever the times are and what the situation demands, you are forced to interpersonally reinvent yourself so that you are able to cope and you are able to meet the demands of the time.
Mm-hmm. And why is it important to reinvent oneself? I know, like you mentioned, that there are different stages in our lives, and there are books on how to reinvent yourself at a certain age, like at 30, at 40, at 50, how to reinvent yourself in a certain situation. But why is it important?
As I said, it's important because you cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's solutions. Quite simply put, if you are faced with a problem today and yesterday you used a certain approach and it worked, today it might not work. For example, if you are adapting to COVID, at the moment, we are forced to reinvent ourselves because how do we do business now? Everything has to move online because face-to-face marketing or face-to-face interaction is limited to nothing at the moment. Reinventing yourself is so important in order for you to also stay healthy mentally. You don't want to become redundant. You don't want your skills to become redundant. That is why even in business, even in studying wise, people have had to go online. People have had to learn new approaches to business in order for them to remain effective and to remain relevant. Reinvention is critical to remaining or to stay relevant and keep up with the demands of this life and this time.
Mm-hmm. Many people have lost their jobs during the lockdown, and many more will continue to lose their jobs. So what can we do in that situation? Is entrepreneurship and self-employment the way to go in this situation? And if so, how can we go about doing that? I mean, it's not easy to just now, after losing your job, have to go into something different and now try and become self-employed and try to find your niche and what product or service you could offer to the people.
So, Mariam, when we look at, talking about the niche, and not everybody can be an entrepreneur. You've got to know what your goal is. You've got to know what your purpose, what your talent, your gifting is, in order for you to find that niche, because you cannot, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you do not know what you are meant to do, how do you set out? So a lot of people are confused, fearful, anxious. There's a mental block in between them and where they need to be. So number one is, what are you good at? What do you like doing? What was your hobby? Because a lot of people have, if you've noticed, they've made lifestyle out of their hobbies. They've created entrepreneurship spirit through what they love to do. So the first thing is to be realistic about your goals and your dreams. And where are you at the moment? Are you employed? Are you unemployed? So you know where you're starting from. Can you make a living out of your passion or your purpose? Are you adaptable? Do you have the strength and the resilience to carry out the plan? Because it's not just about, setting the goal, you've actually got to take action. Then you've got to look at the resources do you have. Is it going to take capital? What can you use that's going to cost you the least money in order for you to start up? Is what you want to do relevant? Is it something that people will buy into? Will you be able to effectively manage yourself? But the most important thing is, Can you manage your emotions in this time enough to get you to a point to start? Because they say that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with one single step. And I find that a lot of people are contacting me and saying, you know what, Nazia, I just don't have it in me. I don't know what to do. I've lost my job, or I'm on UIF at the moment. I've got a family to support. The most important thing for you to realize is that we will not be burdened beyond what we can handle. Um, and in this time, we have the opportunity to unearth the potential that we have to succeed, to be resourceful, because as human beings, we know that we do have what it takes, to achieve. We've got to survive. Our survival instinct kicks in, and we find a beautiful life waiting beyond fear. And that's basically all it takes for us. Beyond fear, do not let fear become, we say that you are the architect of your own fear. You are the one that designs it in your head and then amplifies it to a point where it stops you from living the life of your dreams. Perhaps COVID has given us an opportunity to challenge our fears, to become resilient in the face of those fears, and to win. Essentially, your passion, your hobby will become your mainstream of income. And you'll think, hey, I always had it in me to do this. It's just to decide and to act and take step one.
Is there room for learning a new skill perhaps during this time? I mean, if one has lost their job and they can no longer provide for their families, but now they need to find ways and means to provide. Now, what about skills? Is there any room to learn a new skill?
Yes, I have seen online that there's a lot of free courses available. There are webinars available. There are talks being given. People are doing the home industry thing where they are baking and they are actually, selling from home. People are using these skills and talents to actually make an income. So step one would be, what is it that you are good at? What are you interested in? Because that is the first indicator on your compass. It's going to direct you to where you want to be. It's no use baking, cakes, for example, when you hate cake and, you're not a good decorator. It's much better when you're in love with what you do, or when you like it. At least let's find the point of like, and then we can work from there. But it's an amazing thing because it's a journey of self-discovery. And they say that, I'm like a tea bag. You will not know my strength until you put me in hot water. This is the hot water for us. It's time for us to realize our strengths, and to work against our fears and just do it. Just try. What do we have to lose?
And how can we continue to self-motivate ourselves as we go on? Because I noticed that it's easy to have this motivation and this zeal and passion and this drive to start something, but then we tend to lose it along the way, especially when we're not seeing that required amount of perhaps customers not buying our products, and we just tend to lose our self-motivation along the way.
Mariam, the thing about motivation, and I read this quote once, it's very enlightening. It says, motivation is like bathing. It doesn't work unless you do it every day, right? You have got to be consistently motivating yourself. You've got to be constantly leveling up your motivation, leveling up your sense of awareness and gratitude. It's not something you can do once and it sustains you for the rest of your life, because even a battery loses power. Right? You need to consistently motivate yourself and know that as you grow, so will your challenges. So as your skills grow and develop, so will your challenges to meet the skill, to test the skill, And once you overcome that challenge, you move on to the next one. With every new skill that you develop or you hone, you are met with a challenge that is equal to the amount of skill or strength that you have. So what we are talking about is learning new things, staying motivated. These are things you need to work at every single day. Challenge your mind to a new concept every day. Read something that motivates you. Read something that challenges you. Read something that takes you on a journey of self-discovery. But also don't be afraid to reach out to people who are older than you and say, listen, what would you do? I've read this concept. Can you tell me what you understand by it? We learn so much more by listening than we do by speaking. Let us. This is a time when our elderly are confined to their homes, and they are actually the point of reference for us of wisdom. So we can reach out to them and give them company, but also learn from them because they have a wealth of knowledge that will get us through this time. But it is very important that you remember motivation is like bathing. It doesn't work unless you do it every single day, or you need to stay consistent with it.
What about getting the rest of the family involved in this new skill that you want to acquire or this new business venture? Because I mean, kids will see that you're no longer going to work, and sometimes you'll be frustrated because of the stress and the extra anxiety that you have now. So, how important is it to get them involved in the new skills or the new business venture that one hopes to achieve and start?
Okay, so the main thing is to set up your environment, right? It also sets the tone to say, listen, kids, sit them down and speak to them if they are of ages of understanding and say, this is the reality now. Okay, this is what we are faced with. I will be working from home, or I am going to be starting my own home industry, for example. What I will need from you is when I have ads, for example, and I send them out, because we can all design ads on our phones these days, you tap into their network and say, listen, the assistance I need is, number one, you guys need to be really quiet if I'm on the phone with clients, for example. Or you need to help out when I'm in the kitchen making my orders, for example. Tap into their strengths. Get them involved. Let them feel responsible as well, because it's for their well-being too. And you're also learning new skills. You're teaching them new skills. And you are encouraging more close-knit. It's a team effort for us to keep the household going. Also, do not forget that your mental wellness is of prime priority. So before you begin all of these activities, take just 10 minutes. Write down your goals for the day, right? A to-do list, just like work. Remember, you are now the CEO of your dreams. You are the one that's in charge of taking your company forward. It's make or break. Use your family as your team that's backing you up, instead of looking at them as a hindrance or, as an added, like a source of stress. Say to them, you are now my sales team. I need you to be involved. When I send ads or advertisements out, can you forward it to all your friends on your contact list, for example? I will, giving them a sense of belonging, importance, and a responsibility. It's way better than saying, you know what, you're always in my way. When this door is closed, leave me alone. You are actually teaching them skills like responsibility, deadline, teamwork. You're also encouraging the family vibe because it's a family business. I think that we will need to change the way we look at things. We will need to innovate the way we see ourselves and how we take this forward. But more importantly, there's come a time when we all need to reinvent ourselves in order to meet the demands of the new and ever-changing world.
And also getting the kids involved, you can always add in a little incentive to them, like say, okay, you're going to be part of the sales, and if you sell this much or you advertise that much, and then you can earn your percentage share of the income.
Yes. As with every sales team, they've got to be a basic and an incentive, but it's a fun way, it's a fun way.
Yeah.
And it definitely teaches the family new life skills. It's definitely an exciting journey if you do it the right way.
All right, so we're going to leave it there for now, and hopefully people can take the advice and run with it, because I mean, although the pandemic is not here to stay, but obviously we are no longer in the same situation. We are no longer in the same boat that we were in before the lockdown and before the pandemic. A lot has changed, and now it's time to reinvent ourselves, reinvent the wheel, and move with the times.
Absolutely. Mariam, if I may, if anybody needs any kind of mental health support or any kind of advice, please can they feel free to contact me on 082 779 5287. I cannot stress how important it is, for us to reframe our thinking in order to make it through this. So anytime that anybody needs assistance, please feel free to contact me.
All right. So shukran so much for your time, Nazia, and have a lovely day. Assalamu alaikum.
Afwan wa alaikum assalam.
Right. So Nazia Salojie, a life coach, talking about reinventing yourself after, or rather during the lockdown. Remember that the lockdown is, it's not going to be forever, but obviously our minds have shifted. Everything has shifted and has changed. If you would like to contact Nazia for any assistance regarding how to uh, get back on track and how to reinvent yourself, you can call her on 082 779 5287. That's 082 779 5287. And hopefully she can be of assistance and help you to reinvent yourself during the lockdown, because yeah, we are moving into what they are now calling a new normal.
Connect and stay ahead with Salam Media. This is Salam Media coming to you live from South Africa.
Osman's Taj Mahal Spice and Rice. For over 80 years, Osman's Taj Mahal have been perfecting the art of the perfect blend of spices, pure, aromatic, and well-seasoned. Spices to tantalize your taste buds. From creative cuisines to gastronomical gourmet goodies. From exotic odors to traditional dishes, Osman's Taj Mahal have remained synonymous with quality spices and condiments. Taj Mahal rice, beans, and lentils. Try our range of chili bite mixes, rose and ilachi syrup, our quick and easy biryani pack, and our traditional range of spice blends. Osman's Taj Mahal. There is no substitute for quality.
From the townships of South Africa, the refugee camps in Syria, or orphanages in Yemen, the eyes of the needy speak volumes with just one glare. We know what it's like to be at ground zero, with food essentials, clothing and blankets, fresh water portal trucks, and even on-site navigators. We use every cent to better their tomorrow. Become part of our journey to bring relief to all. Go to www.ashrafulaid.org or call us on 011-809-8181. Ashraful Aid, under the auspices of Maulana Suhail Wadi.
Wow, Zahra, your designer outfit looks so stunning on you.
Thank you, Sophia. All that's missing now is the perfect scarf to match my outfit. Where in this dunya am I going to find a scarf to match?
At Al Shazia, of course, they keep the most beautiful range of scarves for all occasions and in fact almost anything for the modest Muslim and Muslimah. Stunning Shazia is excited to announce the launch of their brand new online store. Shop now at www.alshazia.co.za. Al Shazia, since 1999, 215